All right, glad you tuned in. We're going to get started. You're going to sit there and you're going to see me popping my head in from time to time just because it's fun. It's like, boom, and you never know when it's going to come. But I want us to be able to have that eye-to-eye contact, right? Because if not, all you're going to see is this. So it's going to look like Adam's family and the hands running around, and it's like hands got a friend, and so we're going to be doing this, and from time to time, boo, you're going to have me popping in and everything. So just so that I'm not scaring you, it's like, hey, it really is me. There is a head behind those hands. So this is what's going to how we're going to do it. But basically, we're going to have our budget form. So if you haven't had a chance to go download those, go do that and then come back if you want to follow along with this process. But basically, what's going to happen is you heard, I need to get me a budget and I don't even know where to start. I don't know how to do it. What do we do? So this is going to be a simple walking you through a process of what that looks like. This is where you get power in your life. So power over your money. So we want you to be able to have control. Like I said, this is going to be in parts. So as we get going, if you need to start, stop, rewind, whatever, maybe you need to go to a different part. Maybe you get through the month and it's like, man, how did I do this? Now, want to say that this is one way of doing it, okay? Now, this is your budget. You get to create it, okay? This is just kind of walking an example through with you. I don't want you to think that now the way I'm doing it is this going to be down to the cent. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to sit there and you want to do rounding and stuff like that, and that's totally cool. Okay, so if that's what you want to do, I like being precise. So I'm going to show you this way. Like I said, this is not the only way. This isn't like I have to do this way all the time. This is to give you the idea behind a budget and how to get started, and you want to make this a habit in your life. It is, and once you do, it's going to be so freeing and it's going to be really cool. Okay, and this is the paper form. Paper forms are boring, and paper forms, just make sure you got a good eraser and you use a pencil. You need a pencil and you need a calculator. So I've got this calculator right here. Now this does not mean that you need to buy this calculator. Do not buy this calculator. If you have it, great. Use whatever calculator you have. Our phones have a calculator. So, you use what you have. Okay. Don't feel like you got to rush out and buy things. This is just one that I have. So this is what I'm using. Make sure you got a calculator, a pencil, and maybe a highlighter. Some people like to highlight things. Maybe you're the artist and it's like, I love color, and you're going to have this all colored up and everything, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a really cool thing, at the end of it, but it gets you excited. It makes it yours. So do that, and maybe you don't. Maybe you're just like, no, I like it. I like it all formulated like this, so whatever, make it yours. Okay. So, basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this example and say it's, I don't know, we can come up with a name. Maybe it's Billy and Bobby. Maybe they're a married couple, and Billy and Bobby are sitting there. Let's give them a last name. I don't know. Let's get Miss Anderson. Let's just we'll just call out a random name. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Anderson. It sounds like the Matrix. Anderson. So we'll call it that for now. So maybe they're a married couple and they're saying, okay, let's get together and let's make this happen. I want to figure it out. So they're going to get started and they're going to be like, okay, let's date this a little bit. We're going to start out in January of 2021. Okay, so they're like, okay, this is our New Year's resolution to get control of our money. We want to win with money. We don't want that to be a thing. There's plenty other things we want to deal with, so let money not be one of them. So we're going to get this budget thing under control. So they're coming together. So what you want to do is you want to start before the month or right at the beginning of the month. You want to have a written plan. Okay, and we're just going to walk down the paper form, and later on we'll show you easier ways of doing it because there's plenty out there. We're going to walk down this one. Like I said, you can go, the link is down below if you want to follow along with this one. We'll email you the PDF to where you can print it out. You can have it forever and ever and ever and always if you want. But that's yours, just to kind of walk this process down with us so that you get it. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. Boom. So they're coming together. They're saying, okay, January 1st is a Friday. We like Fridays, so let's get our stuff figured out before we go out to dinner tonight. So they get their budget form here, and they're like, okay, well, let's get started. Where do we start? Well, you know what? You take this, and you take it, and you say, we're calling this January 2021. So you just give it a date. Okay, so this is my January budget. So we're going to start there. Well, the next step is you need to collect all the information of what are you spending this month. Y'all need to come together and talk about it. What do we spend? What are our expenses? What are our incomes? And the first starting this is going to be a little tricky, right? You're going to have to gather that information. You're going to have to, bring your heads together, and, maybe you're getting some coffee tonight. Tonight's a coffee night. We're going to do that. But once you have that, man, it gets so much easier because the next month you already got all that stuff there. So that's what I'm saying. It's going to get easier and easier and easier as it goes. You're going to start seeing it. So they sit there and they go together. And so this is where you're going to get the other income and expense sheet, the first one, the one with the parentheses. Okay, so go get that one. So we got that. So we got the income and expense sheet. Sounds really professional. We're getting professional now. Maybe we go put us on a nice shirt today. So we're sounding a little professional. So we're getting this, and they come together and they say, well, we make we get paid every other week. So we get paid twice this month, and it's about $890. Now these are just imaginary numbers, okay? This is just an imaginary couple. So, don't take any offense to these numbers. Some of these numbers might look high, some might look low, okay? So your numbers are going to look a lot different, but this is the process. So they come together and they say, okay, it's about $890 a paycheck is what we get, and we get it twice. So let me see. So they're writing it down, paycheck one, about $890, because it fluctuates. It might fluctuate some cents, or it might fluctuate some dollars. They don't know the exact. So they're just sitting here doing a good guesstimate. They might go look at their past paychecks and be like, okay, yeah, it's about this much is what I'm making. So they get that down and they write down, okay, it's about $890. And then, we got a side hustle. We're doing some side stuff, that we're doing some online business stuff or whatever, and we think we're going to make $100 this month. So, they're factoring that in. They got a business account. They're like, oh yeah, we selling some stuff, we're making some money, we're helping some people. I don't know. And just kind of getting dumb here. Sorry about that. So we'll keep rolling. The rent, maybe they're renting, and they know that it's $400 every month. That's exact, and some of you are saying, I wish my rent was $400 a month. Some are going, oh my God, $400, that's so much money. So they're doing $400 a month. They're writing it down. Their electric bill, they don't know how much it's going to be. They know around, they could think, they know maybe I'm using the electricity a lot more because it's cold and we got an electric heater. I don't know. So, but it's a guesstimate. It's trying to get close. And the more you do this, the more you know. As you're getting going, you're going to sit there, and maybe once you start gathering all this data, you'll be able to go look at last January. And what did I spend last January? Oh, it's about this month. You just start having it, and it's like it becomes easy to start figuring some of this stuff out. So it's really cool. So anyways, they're just guesstimating it's going to be about $50 a month. Their water city, maybe maybe they do that, and their trash is included in that. They got that expense, and so they know it's about $40 is what they spend, so they're doing a good guesstimate. Then they got a cell phone, their cell phone provider. They know that's exact. We always pay this much for that month. Exact. So that's what that is. The streaming service. Now listen, guys, I'm not advocating any companies out there. They're all good. They're all great. Okay. I've got subscriptions to a lot of them. So a streaming service. So maybe you got that perfect streaming company that you like watching your movies and your videos and stuff like that on. So, a streaming service, you can write it down, detail it out, right? Write the name of that business down that you're with or whatever. And they know it's always $10.10 a month. Cable, they're still doing cable. So they got that, and it's $20.42. They got a music subscription because I like my music and I like being able to create playlists and stuff like that, so that's what they do. So they got that, and it's $9.98. They got car insurance. insurance, that's a big important thing to factor in, you know, it's car insurance. So they got that, and it's $774 a month. Health insurance, that's a big deal. You got to have it, because if you don't, it can bankrupt you very quick. So health insurance, you got to have, even though our health insurance is crazy, don't get me on that subject, but you got to have it. It's an important thing, right? Health insurance, life insurance. Not everyone needs life insurance, but if someone else depends on your paycheck to survive, maybe you're a married couple and they depending on your paycheck just as much as you're depending on theirs, so y'all both have life insurance. So life insurance is a big deal. They have life insurance, so they're writing that one down. They know business expense. This month, I got to spend a little money on the business. I got to go get some office supplies or something like that. So they write those down. It's like, all right, so this is the things we know we got going on that we got to do. Okay, so next step, you gathered your expenses, what you know, and then they come together, and then they go to this budget form, and they're like, okay, well, let's see, my paycheck. So we're looking at this budget form before we plug in numbers, but basically what you're doing is you're writing everything you know on this column, on the left-hand column. That is going to be your column to write things with. And then this is just kind of the running totals, right? So on your monthly income, it's your total plus the amount. So basically you're writing down that, and then you're adding this to that to get this. Adding this to that to get this, and so on and so on, and you run it down to get that, and we'll run that down in a minute, that way you can see it a little better. But then your expenses are what you subtract. So this is subtracting from the total amount. So I'm taking this number, subtracting it from this to get this. Then I'm taking this number, subtracting it from this to get this. And you just keep running down all the way down to the very end. And so it's just simple math. We don't like hard math. Some of us do, but for this sake, we like it easy. So we're running it down, and we want to get it to 0. Okay, so 0. That does not mean that I don't have any money. Where'd all my money go? That's not what that means. That means you've told it where to go. So maybe you've dedicated an amount to go into your wallet so I can go spend it on whatever I want to spend it on. You've just given yourself, you told yourself what you want to do with it, right? So that's what it is. But every bit of your money has a place for it to go. So that's kind of what that is. So, okay, so we got this. So we know that our couple, they have come together. Mr. and Mrs. Anderson. They come together, and they know, okay, so $8.90, and we're just going to walk this down. And if you already got this part, you may want to speed it up, or you may want to just follow along with me. Okay, so they're like, okay, well, we know $8.90 for our first paycheck, and then $8.90 for our second paycheck. So they got that, and it's like, well, my business account, what do I do with that? Well, there's space right here. That way you can personalize this a little bit. So they write down, okay, well, I got a business account right there, and I know that's going to be, we're figuring we're going to make $100 right there. Boom. So they wrote that down, and they're like, okay, well, I got that. My rent or my mortgage, that's $400 is what I spend on that. So I got that. My electric, and really all you're doing is you're just plugging in these numbers right there, and you're just checking them off, or maybe you're highlighting and coloring, and whatever. Make it yours, make it fun. Because sometimes the boring things in life that we gotta do, we gotta make fun with it. All right, it's important. We gotta do it. So why not have some fun while you're doing it? Maybe you're drawing a pretty little butterfly over here. I don't know. You just make it yours. So we got that. Our phone was $45. If you're doing this with me, just start plugging in your numbers, checking it off. Our streaming service right there. Now, I don't see a streaming service right there. And it's like, well, did he forget that? No. Because the thing is we got a TV and cable. That's right. We don't want this to be super long. So that's when we got the workout section. Okay, that way you're going to have different things than me. I'm going to have different things than that person, so we're all different, right? So this gives us the ability to kind of personalize it and to not make this crazy long, crazy big, right? So that's kind of the reason behind that. Like I said, this is just one way of doing it. There's many ways, but this is the example we're walking down. Sweet. So let's keep rolling. So we know that our streaming service is with our TV and cable. So I'm going to come to my workout area, and I'm going to start writing that down, my streaming service. I know that's always $10.10, so I got that. I got my cable right there. So my cable is a part of my TV stuff, kind of what I spend on my TV and my videos and things of that. Maybe you got some gaming subscriptions. I don't know, you know, whatever. Whatever floats your boat on that. 2042 on that. And then I got my music subscription. So what I've got on this form is I got memberships. Which you could also put your streaming service cable over there on memberships if you want. Memberships are just something that you're paying a monthly payment on, that you can drop at a dime if you want to, or maybe you're under contract. I don't know, but this gives you room to personalize it, right? So they got their music subscription. It's a membership thing. They can drop it whenever they want to, but they're putting that over here for $9.98. So they got that. Car insurance. So we have quite a few insurances sometimes. So it's cool to kind of see. These are kind of like virtual envelopes. Let's face it, you know, it's always better if you can use cash. But cash is almost becoming obsolete in a sense, because we have the debit card and so many online transactions. So sometimes we use virtual envelopes. So these can be like workout areas, or you could consider them like a virtual envelope that you're just keeping up with. You know what's in it, how much can I spend? How much am I telling myself I can spend in here? So basically keep it like that. Think of it as that. But the insurances, is cool that you start seeing the total. How much do I spend on insurances a month? And so this is kind of the areas right here to where you're like, how much do I spend on my TV a month? You might sit there and you're spending a lot more than you thought you are. And this kind of, you're like, oh man, maybe I need to cut back on this, you know? So, you know, this is just a great way for you to start seeing what you're doing. And do I need to cut back on this area, or do I need to spend more in this area? You know, so this is kind of what a budget does as well. It kind of shows you that stuff. So our car insurance, I've got this one over here because all of us should have car insurance if you have a car. So we got 74 health insurance will go here as well. So we've got the health insurance. We know that's $85.48. So we got that. Life insurance is doing $40.83. So we got that one. And then the last one is business expense. Now, business expense was not on here because business expense is your thing, right? It's like you run a business. And so it's like that's what the additional workout area is for. So if you don't see it here, then that means you get to make up your own envelopes and personalize it. So you got plenty of area. Maybe you got more than one, so you can just do an extenuation, right? You can use these two for business expense if you're spending a lot, you know, make it yours, whatever. So right here, I'm creating a business expense account. So you can just write your heading on there. And then we've got our sheet. Here we said $50 is what we're spending for our business this month. So right here we're just putting expense because we don't really know where we're going yet to spend it, right? We're just allotting, which is another weird word, right? It's like I'm just setting aside money to do this is what allotting means. It's one of those financial things, right? So we got $50 is what we're putting there. So cool. There, we got that, but now we're not done. So we finished that. The next thing is I gotta eat. I need food. You know, food is a very important thing. And you know, if there's food, then there's, wait, I need gas for my car. I'm gonna spend that. And so there are things that we need to start thinking about other than just the things that we know, right? And so we can put this sheet aside. And now we need to figure out, okay, well, what else do I have? And that's what the other things here are for. These are questions to help keep or to get us started thinking on certain things that we might be spending. That way we don't forget about it, because the worst thing you want to do is draw up this budget and then forget about something and be like, oh man. But it probably will happen, so don't fret. But that just means next month you're going to have a better idea of what you're doing, and then the next month you're going to have an even better idea, next month better, and then before you know it, you've been doing this a year and you got it down like a well-oiled machine, and it's just rolling, and it's a quick thing. So, but these are just questions to get you started. Now, I'm not going to run over all of these just yet, but you've got them to see. But as far as groceries, how often do I go to the grocery store? I know I need to eat. How often do I go to the grocery store? So those are things that we need to ask ourselves. Eating out. Do I eat out? Probably, right? We probably all do. So how much? How much am I going to spend there? How much do I want to spend there? So, we're going to ask ourselves these questions. Insurance, same thing. One thing, men, that you want to talk with your spouse about, is like, one great thing that we do is we'll come together and we'll be like, hey, get your calendar, get my calendar. Do we have anything coming up? And then it's like, oh yeah, the kids got this, I've got this thing with the kids, or, whatever. And y'all start looking at your calendar, seeing what you got this. Oh, there's a birthday this month. Yeah, I got to get a birthday gift. Those are things just that y'all come together and you think about. So, same with medical, and, maybe I got a doctor's appointment this month, and I got to pay a copay. So we got that. School, are the kids in school? Am I in school? Do I need school books? Things of that. Debt. I hope you don't have any debt. Stay away from debt if you can. By all means, debt is a major budget breaker and will keep you in chains quicker than anything. So, but if you owe anybody money, there is a virtual envelope for that. So you'll write that down. Other expenses are just random things that come up. So you got that. Spending money this is one of my favorite ones, because I do like to spend money. I always want to have money in my wallet. So I just say how much money do I want to have? And so that's kind of what we do. If I were going to the top of the list, I am big into giving, y'all. I'm a Christian. You may, if you're not, that's fine. I believe everyone should get outside of themselves and try to make the world a better place. So I believe in tithing and things of that nature. So it's a big deal for me. I just firmly believe in it. That's why it's on this form. So if I set aside money to do that, where am I putting it? Am I putting it into a church? Am I like big on this organization? Do I want to do it there? What about missions? Is there missions or something? Find there's places to give money to help out. Let's all just do our part and try to make this world a better place, right? So that's giving. Savings, okay? So savings is a big deal. That's paying you. That's making sure you get paid. We all want to be able to be financially free, I hope, one day. And financial freedom to me is just being able to work when I want to work, and work when I don't want to work. So it's just being able to do that and being financially free. So but in order to get there, you have to save. Saving is a huge deal. That's another, making it a way of life, and we'll do some other talks on that later, on different ways and to get or save. But basically, with the savings, when you set aside money, where am I putting it? What kind of account am I putting it into? An emergency fund, sinking fund? Am I putting it into a retirement fund, a wealth building fund type things? So this is you formulating a plan. Where am I putting it? So that's kind of the questions that you ask. So this couple, Mr. and Mrs. Anderson, they've asked all these questions, and so this is where the other sheet comes in at. So they come and they get their other income and expense sheet, and they're like, they just added to it. They're like, you know what? Okay, we thought about groceries. And you know what? We actually go to the grocery store once a week. Once a week is our thing. Sorry, I keep hitting the camera and making it shake a little bit. It's not really you. You're probably watching this going, was that me? Is my eyes? No, that was me. So sorry. We'll keep rolling. They say, you know, we go once a week. We're dedicated once a week grocery shoppers. Maybe they shop online, maybe they don't, you know, maybe they still go into the store. I don't know. So, but they say, you know, once a week. And you know what? It's just the two of us. So we spend $60. We spend about $60. So we're going to say we're going to spend $60 every week, and there's 4 weeks in the month of January. So every Friday or every Saturday we're going grocery shopping. We're setting aside $60 to be able to do that. So they total $60 up times 4 and get $240 is what they're saying they're going to spend on groceries this month. So they talked about that, and that's awesome. Then they're talking about gas, vehicles. Maybe they got one car, maybe they got two cars. And they're saying, you know what, we spend about $20 on gas every week. These are imaginary numbers because you probably spend more. I don't know. I know I do. But they're saying they spend $20 a week in gas. So 20 times 4, because there's 4 weeks in the month of January, and that's $80. So we're going to spend $80 this month in gas. And like I said, this becomes easier because you start knowing what you do. And so the next month, you're already going to have all this, and you're going to have it on your budget form. And so next month, you're just plugging in numbers really quick. So this is just the start. It always takes a lot. And then they got together and said, hey, you know, he's got to go to the doctor this month. This is just a wellness visit. He's not really sick or anything, you know. So, you know, things are good. He's looking for a good report. But he's got a PCP copay. No, that's not drugs or anything like that. That's a primary care physician. Another big word, but maybe you can use that in your friend group and be like, y'all seen y'all's PCP here lately today? You know, I got mine scheduled this month. They'll be like, what? What are you talking about, dude? I'm just, you know, I don't know. But now you know that terminology if you didn't. So, hey, that's some insurance stuff, insurance words, you know. So PCP copay, $25 is what I pay whenever I go to the doctor. That's what they're saying. So they wrote that down. They know that's coming up. Other expenses, we know we're going to have some stuff. Some stuff's going to come up that, you know, we hadn't thought about. So, you know, let's just say we're going to set $40 aside for the month just to help cover those expenses if that happens. So they got that, and then it's like, this is the big one. They're like, yeah, I could just see them talking together. You know, I sure would like some money. I just want to be able to spend whatever I want to spend on. So they get to talking. Oh, what if we do $25 each for the month? Oh, that's just not enough. I think I need a little more. And so they're haggling back and forth, and then it's like, you know what? $50 each. Can we do that? $50 each? And it's like, I think we can swing that. Okay, we'll put that in the budget and see if we've got that to do. So 50 for you, 50 for me, and I get to do whatever I want. You get to do whatever you want with that money. Sweet. All right, cool. They spit, handshake. Maybe they kiss. Maybe this is like this kissing in the movie scene or something like, I don't know. You know, maybe they're kissing on it. Maybe you're single and you're like, well, I'm just spending, this is my money. I'm getting the whole $100. You know, so it's yours. Have fun. So they come together and this is their expenses. They're like, bam, this is what we're doing this month. Cool, sweet. Okay, now we got to plug that in. So they come over here, and these are also going to be in the budget workout area. So we're setting our monthly budget aside right here, and we're sitting there and we're taking, okay, our groceries. We got a grocery fund right here. Now maybe you do a lot of online shopping or something, you know, you use different places and companies. Maybe you have certain things. Maybe you go grocery shopping twice a week, you know, but this gives you kind of some space to add whatever. But they're doing once a week. So they're saying, you know, week 1, and you could even give them dates, you know, but they're saying $60 is what they're doing. Week 2, $60. Week 3, $60. If you're following along, just plug in your numbers. If you've already done this, maybe this is where you're fast forwarding a little bit. Now they're sitting here, we got that one, vehicle gas. Now they're plugging that in, and they're saying, well, we get gas about once a week. So week 1, they're just allotting, there's that word again, allotting. We're allotting money. Week 1, we're spending $20 in gas. Week 2, $20. Week 3, you know, this is the boring part. This is where you're maybe thinking about the ice cream you're going to get at the end of doing this, or maybe this is where you're taking a sip of your favorite latte. I don't know. Maybe make it yours. Have fun with this. Maybe you're saying, okay, pause, take a water break, or whatever. So you got that $80. They're eating out. They were. I think we had missed talking about that one, but they're like, I love going to eat out, maybe on a Sunday after church, or maybe Friday night after a long week of work. I like going and getting me some food, so they're setting aside, and maybe they had said, what, we'll do $20 a week on that. We'll put $20 aside, and we'll just spend $20 going out and getting us some food, right? So that's what they're doing, and they're saying, okay, so week 1 we're doing $20 here, week 2 $20, week 3 $20, week 4 $20. So they're writing these numbers in. They got that in. They checked off on their sheet where they gathered all their information at. They checked that off. Now they know they got the PCP, primary care physician, copay. So they've got the copay right here. They got it $25 there. They're checking that one off. Then the other expenses, that's going into the other expense account. They're just labeling that expense, and they're allotting $40 to be able to spend on whatever comes up. I don't know. Sometimes accents are cool. You just got to throw in an accent from time to time, because I don't know. Maybe you don't, but I did, and I can't take that back. So we did that spending. So we got our spending. We know we're saying me and you, because this is a couple doing this, and they're saying 50 here, and they're saying 50 there, because they're spending $100, a hundo, on themselves to be able to spend whatever. So they got that. So they're almost done factoring this in. They're almost done for the month. This is like the month process, right? This is at the start of the month, and this is what you're doing. You get all this down. So they're going back to the sheet because they got all their stuff figured out. But the thing is okay, well, I've got my paychecks coming in, but I firmly believe in giving. So, the first thing that I'm going to do with my money is I'm going to give. Like I said, I am a Christian, so I tithe, and so I believe in giving 10% of whatever I make. I just make it a habit, and I'm like, I'm trusting God in this, and whenever I do that, I see so many blessings from it. So I just know people are getting help. So even if you don't believe that, whenever you give, there's so much energy in it. There's so much, power and love and everything in it. So it's, don't miss out on that. It's a powerful thing in life, being a human. But they're saying $8.90. So if you're giving 10%, and you don't know how to do that, we're going to walk that down real quick too. If you do know how to do that, then maybe you're just skipping ahead, or maybe you're doing it first and then you're saying, did I get it right? Did I win? Did I get an A? But anyways, if I'm doing, so I know my first paycheck was $890. I'm timesing 0.1. You can times it 0.10. You don't have to add the 0 if you don't want to, but basically it's 0.10. And then I hit that equals button, and that's $89. So $89, whenever I get paid, I'm given $89. So I'm writing that down. Paycheck 1, check 1, $89. And then paycheck 2 is the same amount, so I don't even have to do that math. I just know paycheck 2, I'm given $89. Boom. There it is. Now, another major thing is saving. I keep hitting the camera, sorry. That's just me. That's not you. It's not your eyes, so stay with me. Saving is a big thing. Now, Many different people are going to tell you different ways on saving, how much to save. We're just going to go with what most people say, which is big, is 15%. If you save 15% of your whatever you bring home, that's big, that's huge. That will help you in life. If you can save more than that, awesome. But try to make 15% like the bare minimum. Because you want to make sure you're getting paid, you're taking care of your future and stuff like that. You work too hard not to do that. So that's a cool thing. So saving, we know our first paycheck we're making $890, and we're going to times by 15% now, so that's 0.15, and we hit that equals $133.50. So we know paycheck 1 is $133.50. Paycheck 2 we know is the same amount, so we only have to calculate that one. So that's $133.50 50 there as well. So boom, there it is. So I can close that out, and let's see, we have thought about all of our expenses, what we're doing, what we're going to do this month, what we normally spend. We've put it into here. And what we can do with all of these before we really totally close it out is go ahead and put our totals down here. Okay, so we're going to sit there and just run down all these virtual envelopes. That way we can make sure we move it over here into our budget form. And then we're done, okay? And let's see, we've done this in probably 30 minutes or something like that. So, you know, it could definitely take you longer than that. You know, the collection of all your information, that might take you a little bit, but the next month's going to be so much easier. So just do the hard stuff up front, and then later on it makes it so much easier. So here are givings. We're doing 89. This is where you can speed up if you want to speed up, or if you just want to follow along, continue following along, pause it, fast forward, whatever. But 89 plus 89 equals 178. So I'm putting that down here, 178. And that's my total in that. I'll just put that so you can see it. So I got my total 180, 178 right there. I'm going to my savings account. I'm just running over these accounts. And if you notice with this, each one of these I've put numbers 1, 2, 9, 10, 11. All these associate to here. 1, 2, 9, 11, 10, all these are match up here. That way it's an easy, once I've got my total here, then I'm moving it over here. So say my paycheck, I just did my givings and it's 178, and that's on the 1. So I'm going to my 1 giving, I'm giving 178 here, right? 178 right there, okay. And then we're just running down these accounts. This is where it can kind of get boring, and it is what it is, but this is where we make fun. Maybe this is where you pause and you go get you some water, or just continue thinking about an ice cream or something like that. I don't know. But you're adding these together, 133, 133.5. Like I said, this is the written form. We're just learning the process. There are easier ways of doing this. But so we got 267 there, and that's in 2, so we're moving that over here, 267 here. Okay, and then we're moving down, we're doing our cable TV, so we're doing 10.10 plus 2042. We're doing that, and that is $30.52 is what we're doing there, and that's all I was doing, so I'm moving that over to 9. And making that 30.52. And then now I'm moving over to my next envelope, and 20. You could plug all that in, but we know that's 80. Or you can run it on a calculator and add it all up. So that's vehicle gas. Coming right here, I'm adding my 80. 11, there's only 1 in there. That makes it easy. If I go 9.98 plus 9.98. So here we go. 998. We got that. So that's my total there on 11. So 998. And then my groceries, 60. You could probably do that in your head if you wanted to. You could do 60 plus 60 plus 60, blah, 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 or you can times that by 4 and equals 240. So we know that is 240 right there. And we're moving that over to 12, 240. Boom. That one's done. Eating out, we know that's a lot of 20s, so that's $80 right there. Eating out, transfers over here, 80. Okay, now we're moving, that was 13, we're moving to 14. Now we're doing our insurances, 70.74 plus 85.48 plus 40.83 equals 197. So we got 197.05 right there. And then, so now we're moving that over to this one, 197. So we're spending 197.05 in insurances within the month. Medical copay, that's only one, so we know that's $25. Medical, $25. Maybe you got medications, things of that, you know, that's where you could put all that at. So we got that. 16, we don't have anything for school, so you know that's zero. Debt, they're not running any debt, so they're like crushing it. They're doing really good. 0. 18, they're allotting $40. Did you get the one eye? The one eye. $40 right there on 18, so we're just running $40. And then spending money, that is $100 right there on the spending money, $100. Now that's that, so that's the budget workout. That's this one, but we did our expense account, right? So we still got our expense account. We're allotting $50 for that, so $50 right here. But the thing is we don't have that over here. So there is space down here. So maybe you're saying, hey, I got plenty of space. I'm gonna put it on 20. So maybe you even put 20 here and just make it yours, right? And you write here business expense, and you write $50. Boom. So now you have completed these. You've got all your totals. You know what you're doing within the month. And you got this. That's done. You got everything factored into here. And you're like, okay, cool. Am I done? Almost. Now we got to do our running totals to complete this process. And this is our, whenever we came together on the 1st, you know, we're still the first day doing all this, you know, we're almost done. But now it comes the part to see where we're at. We gathered all our information, put this together, so now we're gonna run it down. So here we go. You ready? You can speed this up, do this process on your own, or just follow me along, whatever you want to do, right? So so we're taking 890. There's nothing above that, so we just move that over here. 890, 0, 0. 890, 0, 0, and that's our start. So now I'm going to add this one to this one to get that. So 890 plus 890 equals 1780. 1780. All right, so now I got 1780. Now I'm going to add that to this to get that. 1780 plus 100, which you could probably do that in your head, but you don't have to. 1880. Now there's nothing else, right? So that's it. That's your income. This is, you're saying I'm going to bring home about $1,880 this month. So you're going to put that as your total right here. That's going to go right there, 1880. Okay, so now we're taking that and we're subtracting our expenses. So we're going down. So 1880 minus 178 equals 1702. Then we're taking this number and subtracting it by your next line down, this 267 minus 267 equals 1435. Now we're subtracting that by 400 minus 400, 1035 minus 50, and we just keep running it down. 85 minus 40, 945. Oh, house doesn't use gas, so I can just, that minus 0 is still the same, right? So I don't even have to calculate that one. Now 945 minus 45 minus 45, 32. 899.68. Boom, getting close. Maybe they don't do internet, I don't know. So we just move that down. They decided they didn't. They use hotspots or whatever. That minus 30.52 equals 869.16 minus 789.16 minus 998. Then minus 240 equals 5. See, this is kind of the boring part, right? It's just like, okay, minus 8. Maybe you can just like start talking different as you're doing it to kind of make light out of it. 4, 5, 9, 8, 1, 8, minus 197. Minus 197.05. You know, I don't know. 13 minus 25. I'm almost done. Like I said, there are easier ways of doing this. We're just learning it this way. That way you can see the process. That's 0, so 2, that stays the same. 237, that 0 stays the same. Minus 40. Minus 40 equals 197.13. Minus a hundo equals 97.13. Minus 50. 47.13. There's no other numbers, so you're like, okay, well, that goes 47.13. I'm done. No, you're not. You're like, but no, I did all the numbers and they're all right. They're all accurate. I'm done. No, because that's supposed to be 0. So it's like, oh man, okay. Well, the thing is you have $47.13 left. Where do you want it to go? You got to give it a place. That's a good thing. If it was in the negative, then you're like, oh, okay, well, let's go back up here. Do I need to spend this much on eating out? You know, maybe you start cutting out things to try to get that back to the 0. But if you're over, that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. So you can do many things with that. You can sit there and it's your choice, your budget, you create it, right? So you can move it to, maybe you're like, I want more money in my pocket. I'm gonna put it in my pocket, spending expenses. Or maybe you're the type, I would always recommend put it in your savings. And you're like, oh, but that's so boring. It's like you won't think so later on in life. You're going to be like, I'm so glad. You know, so you can do that. You can do whatever. Another thing that you may want to do is maybe putting in what we can call a holding account. Because the thing is the truth is that electric bill is going to fluctuate. It will. You know, it might be $52, I don't know, and your water bill and all that. So, you know, it might be a little more than what you thought. You always want to kind of over-exaggerate a little bit, and you come out better that way. But maybe things happen, so maybe you just put that into a holding account. So what you can do, because I got to get that to 0, is there's not a holding account here, so you can go to your additional budget workout thing, and you create one. And you say holding account, and then it's you can call it whatever. You can be my money, you know, you can call it whatever, but we'll just sit here and say holding, and we'll call it 47.13, and then you'll put 47.13 right there, because that's going to be the total. And that money's just sitting there to where if you need it, you can move it over. You've got that as a cushion, right? That's a cushion amount of money for you in your budgeting. So now we say, okay, we got 21 open, 21. We'll put holding account there, and we're doing 47.13. Okay, so boom, now you've accounted for all that, you put that there, and now if I took 47.13 minus 47.13 is, for all those who didn't say 0, I mean, get your calculator. So, but no, it's 0, right? So you can sit there and go boom, 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 boom. So 47 minus 13, that is 0. Boom, done. There you are. That's what you want. That's what you do starting the month, is you gather all that information, you factor in your expenses. This is yours, right? So you're creating this. So if you go without eating, you got no one else to blame. You know, maybe you need to put more money into your eating account. You know, so but the thing is, you want that to be 0. In all seriousness, if it is negative, then you've got to subtract some stuff here to get that to where that equals 0. If it's over, you can put it wherever you want, but give it a name. Make the 0. Okay, so this is what Mr. and Mrs. Anderson have done. They're like, okay, all right, we did this. This was the probably one of the hardest parts you're going to do in a budget, is starting it. So once you gather all this information, it's going to be a lot easier the next time, the next go around. But the thing is you don't stop here. The monthly budget doesn't stop here. Okay, because you've got to come back, and throughout these expenses, as things start being deducted from your account, you've got to come and what we call reconcile, right? That was the big word I'd used earlier, but it's just making sure that what's being done there is the same as here. And so as these bills start coming in, then you start factoring these in. So we're going to do that. Mr. and Mrs. Anderson decided, you know what, we're going to do that once every 2 weeks, kind of like we get paid. So they're going to come back in 2 weeks on a Friday. They put it on their calendars. They set reminders on their phone, and they're going to come back and they're going to look at their checking account to make sure all their expenses are what they did, and make sure that they're staying in their budget now. And then they'll reconcile, and then they'll wait and do it again at the end of the month. Okay, so they're going to do it twice. That's our example. The thing is they've got this form right here they both can look at. They can take a snapshot of it or whatever. Like I said, there's easier ways of doing it, right? So we're just doing it the long, drawn out way, the boring way. And then later on, there are ways that you can have it on your phone, right? Both of y'all can have it on your phone. You're always looking at it. You know, okay, I've got $50 in my expense account. This is all I'm spending. I'm not going to spend more. If you put this on here, once you're done, you're kissing over it, you're handshaking, you're doing whatever, but this is what we're doing. Okay, I'm not spending more than this. So this is a budget. This is why we did it. So if you think you need to spend more, then you need to do that at the beginning. Say, okay, now I need more money than $50. So this is kind of why we do it. So this keeps us in our boundaries. That way we're not going crazy and spending more than what we don't have. Okay, so this is how we stay in control of our money. But you do it to where you both can see it, and then throughout the 2 weeks, you are going to know together what you're doing, and then you'll come back together, look at it, kind of adjust the numbers a little bit, and then keep going. So cool. That's it. They're done. You're like, sweet, that wasn't too bad. Why didn't we do this before? And then they're sitting there talking. Now maybe they're going out to dinner because they budgeted it in. Right? They're getting their $20 and they're going out to dinner for that night. I don't know. So that's the budget there. All right. So this is the end of this part. I'm going to make another part to where they're coming back on the 15th, and then I'm going to show you what that looks like, what they're doing there, and then we're going to keep rolling. We're going to walk this whole month out. That way you got the knowledge, you know how it goes. You're not trying to do it blindly or anything like that. So that's kind of what this is here for. So I will see you on the next video. Later, guys.